Good evening, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with the Morning Dew, daily events worldwide, and we are on March 26th, 2021, and welcome to the Daily Dew, where we look at space weather, world weather, anything else affecting humanity. Starting out here looking at the sun for the last 48 hours. Very quiet. Even the two Earth-facing sunspots, very quiet. Looking at the last 48 hours incoming. No major cresting sunspots, no major activity to report. Just reporting a very quiet sun today, which is a good thing. Looking at the last 48 hours outgoing. Looking at another light here, you can see that large plasma filament stretched across the southern hemisphere. Dark coronal hole regions diminishing. As I said, not very much action at all. A very quiet sun today, for the last 48 hours anyway. So that means we're expecting zero space weather. But we did have a little spike in the KP index, up to a 5. KP 5 on the 24th into the 25th. Looking here at our real-time solar wind, as we are steady at about 386 kilometers per second. Phi angle has flipped. Density spike there. Looking here at the Enlil spiral space prediction. And you can see there's not much coming our way in the way of space weather right now. Looking at the Schumann resonance for today, we're at a power of 20. A couple blackouts to report, a little bit of time yesterday and some time today. But an amplitude of 20, a quality of a 9.7. I want to give a moment here to thank everybody for tuning in and choosing Morning Dew, daily events worldwide. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family from around the world. Looking in the last 24 hours for earthquakes, we're going to start out here most recent with this 4.6 in China at a 10-kilometer depth, northern Mongolia. As well, India with a 5.1 at a 28-kilometer depth. 5.9 largest today in Japan at 153-kilometer depth. A couple aftershocks here in Kamchatka. Increased seismicity as expected here through the Aleutian Islands. Now this is Nikolskoye, Alaska, 4.8, just south of the Cleveland volcano, in which I had talked about most recently in one of my videos. Overlooking North America, lonely Canadian earthquake to report today. Oak Bay, Canada, 2.5, right beside my buddy J-Dog. As well, some small 2.8s to report. Northern California, Mena, Nevada with a 3.5. As well, Southern California with a 3.0. White's City, 3.3, 7-kilometer depth. As well, a 3.4 rare earthquake here in South Dakota, 5-kilometer depth, just east of Yellowstone. And our second largest quake of the last 24 hours, Guadeloupe, a 5.8, and as well a 4.9 reported overnight. As well, 3.3 there, 4.7 in Guyana. 4.4 Peru, 147-kilometer depth, as well a 4.0 there in Chile, 20-kilometer depth. And as well, our other second largest earthquake to report, the Pacific Antarctic Ridge, which is pretty rare as well, reporting a 5.7 and a 5.8 on the Pacific Antarctic Ridge, as well the Southeast Indian Ridge with a 5.1 and a 5.0. So active southern hemisphere just after some pretty deep earthquakes. Deepest earthquake last 24 hours, 629 kilometer depth, 4.4, Luvaka, Fiji. A couple deep earthquakes the last 24 hours there. Minor seismicity through Hawaii. Nothing major to report. And quiet across the African plate and up into Eurasia. Let's have a look at the last 7 days for earthquakes. All of the elevated rings are the deep, it shows the depth of the earthquakes, and all of the white rings are the most recent. So yeah, definitely seeing some activity down from the Kermadex into Antarctica. Quiet through the Atlantic plate, but very, very active ring of fire. Just have a plan and be ready, everybody, especially up through the Cascades. Let's have a look at the Pacific Disaster Center showing the most recent volcanoes to update. Sabancaya in Peru, Dakono, Indonesia, Rung, Indonesia, Era in Japan, Reventador in Ecuador, Pacaya, Guatemala, Sangay in Ecuador, as well Fictitus. Now, this is an awakened volcano just northeast of Sabancaya in Peru. As well, going through here, Fuego, Guatemala, St. Vincent de Grenadine. And they have an elevated level now, as they've had quite a bit of activity there. Carrying on here. That is all the volcanoes to report for today. So that's about 13 volcanoes being updated. Let's have a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by Meteor-Earth. Starting out here, home base, Calgary, Alberta. As yes, I did report this morning of that big winter storm coming in. And yeah, it's still tracking. The 5-day forecast has not changed. As you can see, a lot of cold temps in behind that strong low coming out of northern BC and Alaska. So yes, warm ahead of it tomorrow, but then Sunday to Monday, watch for things to change drastically across the province as it moves eastward, dropping at least 50 centimeters of snow in some areas through central prairies. Cold temperatures moving in behind the big low. And then watch as this system grows and tears up the east coast up into the Atlantic Canada, the Atlantic provinces. So Monday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, watch for an extreme weather breakout yet again in the same regions, southeastern United States. But then watch as this system roars its way into the Atlantic provinces and then up into Greenland. Interesting forecast for Canada and the United States, to say the least, right now. Luckily, no tropical storms to talk about. West Coast, very snowy and windy as the system comes through. Overlooking Europe, high pressure ridge is pretty dominant throughout the region, keeping things dry and warm. Most of Western and Central Europe, Eastern still hanging around with the cold temps. Low finally moving out of northern Mongolia. That affected a lot of Afghanistan and northern India. Low pressure system here affecting Japan throughout the week, going to bring a lot of rain. And then throughout the week here through Indonesia and through Malaysia, monsoon rains are going to be picking up. Looking at the total precipitable water recently, and that has really started to increase across the world. 2 possible areas of interest here forming in the Indian Ocean. overlooking Australia. No major systems to play this week, keeping things dry. You see a bit of moisture in the northeastern coastlines of Australia and into Northern Territory. Overlooking Africa, daily evaporation rains through central regions. No major events to talk about. South America, same thing. Daily evaporation rains, but watch for those to increase throughout the week, especially through Colombia. You guys have really seen a lot of torrential downpours recently. Thoughts and prayers to everybody being affected by floods through in South America. As well, watch for this system to bring some extreme weather, parts of southern Argentina, the border with Chile. I'm going to leave you here looking at the northern hemisphere and the major systems that are affecting North America this week. Thanks for watching today. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your morning dew. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.